Peace. Dolla50. You already know. Dolla50 trying to get this YouTube live thing right. You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen. The Novavax vaccine is not out yet. The Novavax vaccine is being approved through Food and Drug Administration, and through the Food and Drug Administration, the the Novavax vaccine is being approved. Now, it's in the process of being approved. Hold up, check this. It's in the process of being approved. But listen, I got the plaque, right? The plaque that I ordered is a plaque that I already had, but the face on the plaque, the cover plate with the inscribed writing on it has a Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service. And it has the website, GoDaddy website address on it, vaccine911.online, vaccine911realty.com. Now, those are GoDaddy websites. I went through crazy problems with that website. Like, I'm looking at TV and GoDaddy advertisements show up, and I'm like, GoDaddy? Why is GoDaddy on my screen? Like, I don't know how mathematical GoDaddy is showing up on the screen. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, it must be something to do with the website. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So what I did was I made sure I shut it down. I shut down the GoDaddy. I'm taking GoDaddy off the plaque, and I'm just going straight hard. Center for Disease Control, I'm going straight hard. You know that the Pyramid Hotel in Las Vegas, I'm going hard like that. You know what I'm saying? So I have some type of foundation. I'm not established in the mainstream, so I chose the Pyramid Hotel in Las Vegas, Luxor.com. I chose that on my gavel plaque. Now, it sounds crazy to some extent, but it's not crazy because I have a consistency enough to be in Las Vegas. I have a consistency enough to be distributing the vaccine in largely concentrated areas with people, you know what I'm saying? Densely populated areas. So check it. You know what I mean? I'm going to relocate probably to Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? When I relocate to Las Vegas, it's going to be somewhere in the district, the same vicinity of the Luxor Hotel. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking about the vicinity, I might not be there. I might not be, in the immediate vicinity. I should be somewhere in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm gonna have a house. I don't know if I'm gonna have a room. I don't know how I'm gonna do it right now. But certainly qualified for the job. You know what I'm saying? It's a job. You know what I mean? Distributing the vaccine on a large scale with people might not be wearing masks, and I might have something to say like, listen, just because you had the vaccine don't mean you shouldn't be wearing a mask. You know what I'm saying? You should still wear your mask because we don't know what's going to happen with the vaccine. The vaccine is butter. It's mad butter for the district, no doubt. But you know what I mean? What about when it runs out? When the vaccine runs out, you know what I mean? It's like the vaccine runs out. You don't know when it runs out, but you really die when it runs out. You know what I mean? We don't know exactly what the specifics are of having the vaccine. So, you know what I mean? It's best to be safe than sorry playing around with a vaccine in people largely densely populated areas like Las Vegas. And, having that consistency is not just, what it's supposed to be all the time. It's like you got to really, go hard. You know what I mean? If somebody going, give you COVID-19 some kind of way, and you have to fight for your life. You don't want to just not wear a mask because you had a shot. You know what I mean? You don't know if the shot is 100%. So check it. The plaque is going to have the distribution check the gavel plaque is based on a gavel is based on law and order, justice, equality, fairness in the court process in the mainstream. That's what it's based on. So the plaque is a gavel on the plaque. Now Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson, Novavax are the first 4 vaccines on the plaque. Then the distributors of the vaccine are FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service, in the same order. And those are the major 3 distributors of the vaccine. And what else is on the plaque? Center for Disease Control is on the plaque. I don't know if it's the same exact order as what I just called out. Those are the first 7. Center for Disease Control, OSHA's on there, Luxor.com, and it's one more. But basically, it's a list of 10. It's a list of 10 locations on the plaque that I chose in a certain order that, once they locked in place, it's going to be crazy. Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, my process is not going to be the same process that they have in place. The process that they have in place now, where anybody could just say, I want the vaccine, that's not based on, you can say, well, the graves that are in the museum, you want the graves out of the museum. You don't want a vaccine. You don't want any given anything with the graves and the vaccine, the stolen treasures that were robbed from Africa. And you might just have a difference of opinion. You don't want that in the museum. If you don't feel comfortable with that in the museum with a vaccine inside of you, based on the entire America or the world alike having a vaccine inside them to fight COVID-19. Nobody knows exactly what they're playing with. You know what I'm saying? When they're playing with these vaccines and chemical warfare and all that, you don't know what America's doing for real. You know what I mean? When America is going hard, they going hard. You know what I mean? They play all types of strategical warfare games, and you be lucky to make it out alive. Yo, right now it's 600 and something thousand bodies. 600 and something thousand bodies. Like when I'm talking on live right now, you know what I'm saying? Like they said it was at first it was 4,000 bodies. They said first it was 4,000 bodies. Now it's like 4,000 bodies a day. Now it's like 400 bodies a day. But it's 600,000 bodies. The count is like 613, 613 and 1, 613 and 2. You know what I'm saying? And it's like crazy. Like the people are really dying. You know what I'm saying? And people are not wearing masks. They getting vaccinated. They're not wearing masks without being vaccinated, so on and so forth. So check it. The stimulus check process and the vaccine process are 2 separate processes. The vaccine process is government funded. The stimulus check process is government funded, but your difference of opinion with the vaccine inside of you is not the same as your difference of opinion with the money to spend, the stimulus check money. You got the stimulus check money, and you just like, you know what I mean? You just want to go to the store. You know what I mean? They can't tell you whether to go to the store or not. You know what I mean? You just go to the store, and that's how it's done. You know what I mean? The vaccine, on the other hand, you don't like white people. They don't like black people. They don't like big people, tall people, whatever the difference of opinion is. It's like the vaccine inside of you, and whoever made the vaccine is ultimately, the maker of the vaccine. You need the vaccine, and they made the vaccine, and that's the end of it. Even if a difference of a race or ethnic background is a factor. You know what I'm saying? You know how you take some of those tests, and it's like the test is biased. You know what I mean? The test is not really, you know what I mean, it's not for black people, but you take the test anyway. Like that, something like that. You got the vaccine inside of you. You don't know exactly what the differences are along the way, but you know that the vaccine is going to have some differences of opinion. So, you know, that's a factor. You know what I'm saying? All of those are real factors in the distribution process. But listen, when I'm distributing the vaccine with the gavel plaque, the vaccine with the gavel plaque is different. The gavel is about, you know what I mean, right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's a different consistency present. You know, when you got Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Novavax on the same gavel plaque, not the same as Moderna over here, Pfizer over here from another country, Johnson & Johnson over here, and Novavax over there. It's not the same. So when you got everything on a concentrated location and judgment is being rendered along the way, it's it's much more feasible to say you rather have that consistency than just the floating around consistency. That's crazy. You don't know what's real. When I took my plaque to Washington, D.C., I got the Amtrak, and it was 9:11 on the clock. And I recorded, I vlogged the 911 vlog. You know what I'm saying? To have my plaque on what consistent with Amtrak, consistent with me catching Amtrak to Washington D.C., and then distributing the stimulus check business cards with the vaccine on one side and the stimulus check on the other side. So when you receive a vaccine, you receive the stimulus check simultaneously. You know, that's the process I'm trying to implement into the mainstream, where the mainstream is just, you know what I mean, things are just floating around. Stimulus check over here, vaccine over here, Moderna over here, Johnson & Johnson over there. You know, it's no order to it. When it first came about, it was based on, you know, people just dying and nobody knowing what to wear a mask or nothing. So it was like, once they figured out you had to wear a mask, once they figured out you had to practice social distancing, once they figured out, you know, how to approach the COVID-19, and then it was like, they knew how to deal with what they were up against. They knew what they were up against. This was before China, you know, said anything. You know what I'm saying? So it was just people dying. Nobody knew what it was. The doctors knew what it was, the nurses and stuff like that, but nobody knew what it was. So listen, once the process was in its proper context, like you knew exactly what you was up against, then it was like nobody knew exactly when it was going to end. Like it was like, you know what I mean, people were just dying rapidly and nobody knew when it was going to begin and end. So it was like, let me see how should I put this. This was they started rioting. You know, that was when the George Floyd thing happened and all the people, you know, were getting shot by the police, and, you know, it was confusing at the time. But saying that to say, let me just roughly go over the chain of events that presented themselves when COVID-19 hit. When COVID-19 hit, it was completely like it was just confusing. Riots, it was people dying, riots and stuff like that. It was shootings and stuff like that going on. So it was like everything happened at the same time. So then they was looting stores. There was knocking over monuments, and these wasn't Trump protesters at the time. Trump was the president. So these weren't Trump protesters. They was rioting in each city, like like rioting, going to sleep, waking up, rioting again. So it was like it was crazy when the vaccine when COVID-19 first hit. You know what I mean? It was crazy. So it was like being said, it was like it was no way to control COVID-19. You couldn't control COVID-19. You couldn't control the people. You couldn't control the police shootings. It was like mad confusion. So these weren't Trump protesters. These people that was protesting was saying they was Black Lives Matter. They were saying they was Black Lives Matter, but Black Lives Matter wasn't always present when the stores was being looted and all that, but they was going by the name of Black Lives Matter. So saying that to say, they were saying they didn't want Trump to be the president. They had differences of opinion, and there was no vaccine. The vaccine was just, didn't exist at that time. So I was on Twitter, with my Bible and, my consistency on Twitter, because without having an actual laboratory with test tubes and all beakers and all that, I would have Hearts Club spades, Hearts Club's diamond spades on the Bible page, from one page to the next. I would have 4 seasons: summer, fall, winter, spring. I would have, in a certain order. I would have day and night. I would have the time of day. I might put stimulus check every now. Stimulus check wasn't out then. It was like very beginning before there was a vaccine. I implemented a process into Twitter making tweets that was my own little process. It was based on having a direction of a vaccine. Nobody was doing that. I was the only one doing that. So they never paid me or nothing. They just never. That's crazy too, how they never paid me. And up to date, like I'm going through trying to get a channel car, and they not supporting paying me or reimbursing me for all of my work. You know what I'm saying? All my work on Twitter. So I don't like lose sight of what I'm doing right now based on the work that I'm doing to prevent COVID-19 from being a real factor. You know what I'm saying? COVID-19 is crazy right now. COVID-19 is just, it's not as crazy as it was, but it's crazy for you to go outside or go in a store, or be in public, and something can kill you. You know what I mean? That's what's crazy about COVID-19. COVID-19 is crazy in a way that, it's lucky to have a vaccine. We lucky to have a vaccine, but it's still you in death's way. You know what I mean? You could die. You go to the hospitals are flooded. The hospitals are completely overwhelmed with COVID-19. COVID-19 is impossible. It's not the flu. They telling people it's like the flu. It's not the flu. You completely could die. Like, you know what I mean? Like in a week's time, like you get COVID-19 in a week's time, you die. You know what I mean? And you go to the hospital, if it's too many beds taken, you die that way. You die from, not being able to be treated. And it's crazy how people die. People were dying at first and not dying as rapidly now. But then you got people that's playing against COVID-19 patients. Like they don't agree with the whole thing about China, sending the disease here and all that. They just don't agree with it and play against, even treating the patients. They play against every step of the way of treating anybody for COVID-19. They just blame China, and that's supposed to be the end of it. So that's not the end of it. That's not the way things work. You got to really take into account that when everybody needs help, you got to just say, well, it's not all about you no more. You got to kind of apply yourself where it applies and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so check it. That's the COVID-19 scenario. Everybody wanted Trump out of office, the Black Lives Matter movement, everybody, all that was going on. So now it's like Trump's not in office. Biden is in office, but he's like, I'm not going to be all political on this live stream. I'm just going to kind of keep it narrowed down to the vaccines, the distribution process, and my plaque that I'm getting redone. I had a plaque that had a website address from GoDaddy, and that chemistry was redirecting the actual chemistry on the plaque. Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, FedEx, UPS, United States Postal Service. Novavax didn't exist at first. So putting everything in one place so it didn't move, with the chemistry of what of the vaccine actually helping you. If you got a vaccine at CVS and it takes you a month to get there, but you catch COVID-19 and it takes 2 weeks, extra 2 weeks. It takes 2 weeks in between you catching COVID-19 and getting to CVS. Well, let me explain how the vaccine works. The vaccine does not work if you catch COVID-19. You catch some type of lung, your lungs get inflamed, or pneumonia. COVID-19, the vaccine doesn't help you. The vaccine only helps you if you don't have COVID-19. It prevents you from catching it. That's first and foremost. But now they have Regeneron and all these other medications to help you if you catch COVID-19. They treat patients in the hospital with those medications. Now those medications are limited, where if the patients are in the hospital at an alarming rate, which they probably will be in this summer. This summer it's going to be crazy, because 4th of July weekend, vaccine, everybody don't want to wear masks, like spring break did. They didn't wear no mask. Everybody was out and about, So summer's going to be a little bit crazy because the wall being built, everything is like, he's opening the border. He started out opening the border. They don't have the border open right now, but it's a lot of extremes present approaching the summer. So check it. The vaccine being accessible and the vaccine being on a plaque is a lot different than the vaccine. Is a lot different when a judge is standing with a gavel saying, okay, you can get a vaccine. Okay, you can get a vaccine. When that consistency is present, it's real, before you just floating around with Moderna, trying to catch up with Moderna in traffic. That's not real right now. That's how it started out. That's how the distribution process started out, and that's what it is now. But they don't want to take heed to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like the government. I went to Nancy Pelosi and said, Nancy Pelosi, I understand that you appropriated monies Congress appropriated monies with the American Rescue Plan. They appropriated money for the distribution process. I need to be funded for the distribution process. I don't have transportation. I don't have the proper clothing for the task of distribution. I don't have. I'm misrepresenting. I'm not properly presenting myself with the distribution process. FedEx got trucks. They got uniforms. They got UPS got uniforms. They got buildings. United States Postal Service got cars. They got they got mailboxes. So it's like they already established they got everything they supposed to have. I don't have none of that, and I'm on Twitter like if something's out of order, I'll just put it in place, and then depend on my consistency to say, well, Nancy Pelosi is going to obviously, see my effort, my consistency, and show up for the occasion of my funds being appropriated for the distribution process. That's not quite the case, but I'm making progress. When I approach Nancy Pelosi, what I'll do is I'll take a tweet where I have a picture. Her picture might be on the tweet, whatever the chemistry. I might have Congress building. I might have, her name. I might have a list of names. I might have OSHA. I might have the vaccine names. I might have Center for Disease Control. And when I have that in a certain order, there's a consistency present. I'll go to Nancy Pelosi domain name or website, and I'll call her directly on my phone. I'll get the phone number from the website, and I'll call her and say, contact Nancy Pelosi, this Washington, D.C. or San Francisco. And, I'll call her directly. When I call her, it's an answer machine. I'll leave a message. I need funds. It's my understanding that monies were appropriated with the American Rescue Plan, and I need monies to assist in the distribution process. I didn't say I have a gavel plaque, and the gavel plaque is well within reason of being funded or nothing like that. I just said, well, whatever the difference is of explaining this brief scenario over the phone on the answer machine, I'll get my money that way. But I haven't gotten any money. So when I go somewhere like Chicago Motor Cars to purchase a vehicle without the money from Nancy Pelosi, what happens is Nancy Pelosi can abandon her identity in the effort of me purchasing the vehicle. So I'm in between purchasing the vehicle and Nancy Pelosi noticing that I'm making the effort to purchase a vehicle without the monies that I requested from the assistant in the distribution process. So I go through all types of gray areas, but you know what I'm saying? I got 10 YouTube channels. My most recent YouTube channel is Mad Butter. You know what I mean? Mad, M-A-D, Butter, B-U-T-T-E-R, by Dolla50. That's the name of my new YouTube channel. Crazy. Now, I'm selling crazy cars. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll make a car video, and the car videos are like, you know what I mean? That nobody else make hip hop car videos like I do. You know what I mean? I go to a company that's cool, and I use their video, their already existing video, and I hype it up with, you know what I mean? Yo, $1.50, you know what I mean? I hype it up. So it'll be like, after I hype it up, they don't pay me once they sell 1,000 cars. But check it. when I hype it up off hip hop with my style of hip hop, it's like it's all butter when it's selling the cars. And when I get the stimulus check and buy a computer, a stimulus check, and buy a website, stimulus check, and make the videos more live, it's all good, but it's coming straight from the government. That's crazy, right? Ain't no in between the government funding the money and them selling cars. So they either gonna be paying taxes on the money, or they gonna be paying me. It ain't no in betweens. It's like the money coming straight from the government, and they selling cars, and they don't want to pay me off the top. So you know what I mean? I'm making my way through the mainstream. You know what I mean? I'm figuring it out because I'm with a couple of companies that's talking to me indirectly, but don't want to really, you know what I mean? They not committed to it. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of like, they'll see my videos and be like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say they see me on Twitter and all that and be talking back and forth on Twitter. I'm not going to say that. But you know what I mean? If it was a problem, it'd be a problem. You know what I mean? Yo, listen. I don't have a whole lot of people here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just post this and make sure, you know what I mean, somebody see where I'm at. And I'm trying to learn my way. I'm learning my way. When I figure out what, you know what I mean, how these live streams work, I'm gonna get the donations and all that. You know what I mean? But yo, feel free to donate to 1000millionfoundation.com. I'm on Twitter majority of the time. You know what I mean? I'm at Songcast. I'm at Radio Airplay. I'm at SoundCloud. I'm at Amazon. You know what I mean? You can figure out where I'm at all over the place. Just go on Google, type in Dolla50. You'll see a long list of where I'm at on Google. You know what I mean? So yo, peace, Dolla50. You already know. You know what I'm saying? Yo, the process is gonna be no less than what it is. Peace.